Hey everyone on this channel, we typically discuss things about buying and selling real estate and the different factors that affect it. But today we're going to switch up gears a little bit, and we're going to talk about baby proofing. So if you have a home and you want some expert baby proofing advice, stick around, and we're going to go over some of the products and tactics that we use in our own home with our own children. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name's John Cummings. I'm with Better Homes and Gardens Cassadon Realty. And my hope for the channel is to help with any real estate need that you may have, whether it's market specific information, whether you're buying or selling a new home, if you have a question at all. And today we're going to talk about baby proofing. So feel free to subscribe and you'll get any other content that I put out. So as I mentioned, we're going to go over baby proofing today. And backed by popular demand, I have my wife Jess with me, and her presence alone on my channel automatically boosts my YouTube posts. So that's the main reason for having her on. um, but but really the reason that I wanted to have Jess on today is because she is what I would consider an expert in baby proofing, and she doesn't have a degree in baby proofing. She doesn't have any sort of certification, but she is a mom of two boys and soon to be a third boy. She's done a lot of research on the products that we use in our own home. We've tried a lot of different things, and some have failed, some have worked, some we hate, some we love. Um, but we use these products, and we want to share what we've found out with anyone that would have an interest. For reference, we have two boys currently. We have a 3-year-old boy and a year and a half old. He's going to be two in June. We're coming up on 2 years old, and we're going to have a third boy in April. So, needless to say, our house is kind of like a circus, and it's just a jungle gym for them to hurt themselves on. So, this topic is near and dear to our hearts, and if you're living in Saucon Valley, where we live and where I typically work, one of the main selling points of Saucon is the school district. So, if you're in the area or if you're moving to the area, one of the main reasons you probably have is to either start a family or move your family, and you may have small children, toddlers at home, and you just want to know what the best products out there are. So, if you're a dad out there, this topic may suck for you. It does for me because if your wife is going to watch this video, likely you're going to end up having a lot of work to do. So it's a little tongue in cheek because I sometimes I hate the products that my wife brings home, but I do value them, and I know that they are important. But some of them are a real pain in the butt. So I'll let you know, dads, what I think about the installation process, and if it's worth it or not, basically. Um, but just one final note is that we're not getting endorsed by any of these products. No one's paying us. But if you do want to pay us or endorse us, feel free to reach out to us. We'll be happy to take a check. So with that, I'm going to introduce Jess here, and she's going to talk about just baby proofing in general, her thoughts on it, and introduce some of the products for us. Go ahead, Jess.
Okay, so our topic is baby proofing, and we really didn't think much about this until our oldest was moving and crawling and walking around and kind of like getting into trouble. So we decided to just try to like lock everything up, pad everything up so that he had a safe environment to stay during the day. And especially because our kids are home during the day, we have a nanny that comes over. So this is where they are the majority of the time. So the first one we're going to talk about are these dresser locks. Basically, kids can open any drawer they can get their hands on, and these help to kind of secure all dresser drawers so that they can't get in. One issue, if they can get in, besides getting into all the clothes and things, if you open them, you have like sharp corners around the edges, and the doors can just, a lot of dresser drawers can just fall out if they're the big wooden ones. So we use these on our personal dressers. The kid dressers don't need them because their dressers are cloth drawers, so they're not very heavy. They can kind of pull them in and out as they please, but ours are locked up with these. So if you have like old-fashioned dressers that are wooden, you'd want to make sure that your dressers are locked that you can just kind of use a little button and you could open them, but they can't.
Yeah, and one thing, with these guys is, you know, they're super easy to install. There's just this little sticky pad on the back. It's that 3M tape, and you can just pull it off and stick it on. What I found out though is they don't stay stuck forever. I mean, ours are still on there, but even from our kids yanking on the drawers every now and again, it doesn't keep them completely shut. So one thing that I thought would prevent is pinching their fingers in the drawers, but after a while it really doesn't. So the main benefit really is to me is that the drawers won't fall out on top of them. So if you have heavy wooden drawer, it's not going to fall out on top of them. And the other thing is, you know, if you're in a hurry and you're trying to get dressed with these things, it's really a pain in the butt because you have to like push it and it pops off. But usually, you can't just put it on one side; you have to put it on both sides. So if you have a really long dresser drawer, or if you have a dresser like my wife's, sometimes you have to overlap one with the other drawer just to get it to go. So that it really locks two drawers at once. It could be a pain. Install is really easy. To get the 3M tape off though is a pain in the butt. Um, but are they worth it? I would say yes, just due to the fact that the drawers are never going to fall out on top of your kids. Um, but they don't really prevent them from opening them up. At least they can open just slightly. But that's this product. So we'll move on to the next thing. I don't know if you want to take that, Jess.
So our second one is to prevent the actual dressers from, falling down. So you kind of stick it to the wall, and then you have this little wire that will hold your dresser to the wall or any other large thing like a bookshelf, or we even do it with our humidifiers because the humidifiers sit on top of their dressers and they're really heavy. So if they're pulling at things that they could fall down on themselves, like dressers or bookshelves, it's good to have it secured to the wall. My biggest recommendation, and we do this with their cloth dressers too, to secure them to the wall. But if I could go back, I don't think I would have kept our big, heavy dressers, and eventually maybe we'll get rid of them. I think the cloth ones are the better way to go. I think that the wooden ones are kind of dated and heavy and bulky and pointy at places, so it's not my favorite. But these will at least prevent it from, you know, falling on top of them. So dressers, bookshelves, anything heavy on top of shelves, like our humidifiers, are all secured to the wall.
Yeah, one thing I like about this, I do like this product. Um, Depending on what you're doing with it, it could be sort of a pain, but the installation's super. I mean, it's pretty easy. You basically you get a couple screws and you put it into the wall, and they come with anchors if you're putting it straight into drywall, or if you want to if you find the studs, you put it right in the stud without the anchor. And then you put the other end, to whatever you're securing it to, either the dresser or, like Jess said, we put it on humidifiers. And if you do something like that, you kind of have to get a little creative because you can't screw into your dehumidifier into your humidifier, so you'll put glue on it, you stick it on, and basically the way that it works is you loop it through on one end, and then you loop it through on the other end, and you screw it together at the tip. So it's a pretty neat product. I do like it. I do think it's worth it, especially when you have heavy dressers, bookshelves, and I didn't even think about the humidifiers. Just thought about that, but it is a good idea if you have a big water tank on top of a dresser. I mean, the kids go over there and they just shake the dresser, so I mean, it could fall on them. So it is a good use for that. So yeah, that's the Siasen furniture straps.
So our next one, pretty standard outlet covers. There's a whole bunch of these out there. These specifically um, kind of lock into place, if you could see it, and they definitely cannot get these out. And sometimes it's actually hard for us to get them out of some outlets. Um, just the other day, I was going to vacuum and I was trying to get one out, and our oldest was kind of like, "Oh, just pull it," and it was kind of funny, but they're not like the standard ones that you just stick in. They kind of click into place, and they're super easy to put into the walls. And they definitely can't, stick anything into the outlets or get these covers off. Some covers kind of come off pretty easily.
Yeah, this is a good one. It, like I said, super easy. You just plug it in and then you lock it in place. It does not come out easily, so your kids are not going to get this out. Not they, I don't know. They have to be really good to get this thing out, but it is a good product. Definitely better than most of the covers I've seen that just pop off. This is an interesting one that we kind of fell upon.
So this one covers your chargers. So our oldest would chew, and apparently other toddlers do this too, since the product exists, would chew on the end of our phone chargers or your watch charger or any other kind of charger that you have. And he was like breaking the chargers. So he was okay because most of the time they're not always plugged in, but our chargers kept breaking because the ends kept getting wet. So this kind of, you just stick it over it and they can't get to the charger inside it anymore. And then when you don't want it, you just slide it down the charger and you close it. It's probably pretty important because most people have their chargers plugged in all the time. So just so that's not like an issue, a safety issue if they're chewing on it, but also I had to buy chargers probably 3 or 4 times before finding this product to it's called Watch Your Mouth, um, for him to stop chewing on them.
Yeah, it's a pretty straightforward product. We like it. Really, the only reason we eventually got it is because our oldest was chewing on the wires, which we just couldn't get him to stop doing. But that's another story in and of itself.
So the next one, these are just basic bumpers for corners, and this is just like a tiny sample for long sections of edges. The corner pieces I think are really important. These specifically have peel offs that you could stick on. I don't think that they're the best, so I typically put a different type of better tape on it to stick it to the corners. And they have definitely saved our kids a few times. Like John said, we have 2 boys and 1 boy on the way, and they run all over the place. So he's definitely hit these bumpers and has been perfectly fine. This one we have on pretty much any straight edge around the house, which when you go around and baby proof, you realize you have a lot of edges. So these just run straight down any edge. So things like dressers, wall corners, you'll find a lot of corners in the bathroom. They come in different colors so you can kind of match up to your furniture. They're not the most eye appealing things,
They are
but
paintable. We can paint them.
you can paint
We
them.
just learned that you can paint them.
We did paint one the color of our wall, so you can kind of blend it in. But they definitely have saved our kids a few times from potential emergency room trips.
The next product that we're bringing up, this is a neat product that I think we both like as well.
So this is another one that stops the drawers from opening. Our first one kind of is bulky and you could see it over top. This is more for like the kitchen, the bathroom, and is completely hidden. So part of it goes inside the drawer, and then you have a little magnet that will open and close it if you just kind of slide it over the outside of the drawer. So, the kids can pull on the drawers and you have this little stopper here that'll stop the drawer from opening, and the magnets that go with it. They can get lost though, so I do suggest like keeping a pretty heavy duty magnet somewhere in case you happen to lose this and can't get into your drawers. And also if you drop it, they will split apart. So we have super glued ours shut because there's really no reason you need to open this for any reason.
That's a good point. I actually forgot that we did that because we dropped this a few times and then the magnet it broke, right? Or it popped out.
It just popped out and you have to smush it back together.
Yeah, that happened quite a bit. So yeah, we super glued this on. I actually forgot that we did that. But yeah, but this product to install, it sucks. I'm just gonna tell you this right off the bat. It sucks to install this thing. But once you get it in place, you could leave it there forever. To be honest with you, when you put it in your kitchen cabinets or your drawers. What's cool about this is, obviously you can open and close it, but then you could actually deactivate it so that the magnet doesn't work anymore, but it always remains closed. So you could basically deactivate this when your kids are old enough, and you don't even need to take them out. It comes with this 3M sticky stuff as well. To be honest, it didn't work for us because again, our kids would literally pull on the cabinets, or no matter how many times you tell them, they just keep pulling on it. So eventually, the tape would rip off or it would break. Um, every now and again, you have to replace them, which sucks. The only other thing with this is if you have people come in your house and they are trying to use this, no one can ever figure it out. They can never find the magnet. I mean, they have little stickers that you can put exactly where the magnet is. But if you don't want stickers on your cabinets, you kind of just have to feel around for it and memorize where it is. But you do get the hang of it, and it's a neat product. I definitely would recommend it, but just be aware it does suck to install because you usually have to screw it in into really tight spaces. So just a heads up.
So our next one is pretty simple, fun looking. They come in all kinds of different animals. It's just a simple door stopper. So a lot of things with doors that I didn't realize were going to be kind of a pain when we had kids was making sure their fingers didn't get pinched in all the different places. So this one just slides on the outside part of the door. So when you close the door, it doesn't actually shut. We have these literally all over the house. So unless if the door is shut, it's basically sitting on the door handle or it's behind the door, just sitting there, and it's kind of just habit to throw it on the doors so that they don't go to close the door because kids for whatever reason will put their hands on it and close the door, and without the bumper their fingers would get stuck between the door and the wall. And these actually come with the company that sells the bumpers here. So we have a bunch of these because I've ordered a bunch of bumpers over the last 3 years. And these just come with it. You can order them separate too. We did get a pack separate at one point, but they do come standard with some of these things that you can buy.
Yeah, these are great. I mean, dads, you're gonna love this. I mean, you literally just put it on the door, like that's it. You're done. Bam. And it's definitely prevented injury. Like 100% has prevented injuries to the kids. I guarantee this has happened. Um, but if you're worried about their kids' fingers getting pinched in the door, very simple way to do it. They do get lost. The kids take them sometimes and hide them and do whatever with them, but they're cheap. You can buy new packs of them and just put 5 of them on the door, and then kind of whatever ones remain after a certain amount of time. That's what you got left. But very good product, very easy to use. I definitely highly recommend it. And now we have one more that we wanted to go over again for the doors as well. Doors are a real pain in the butt with kids.
So these are for the like hinge part of the door. We noticed that our oldest was like trying to stick his fingers in between the hinge of the door. And these just cover over it and then it's completely blocked. So they can, as they move the doors around, they literally can't get their fingers into the door. And they have it for, each side of the door because it's a little different the way the doors open from the inside to the outside. But it goes on, any door with a hinge. So and I'm sure they have different colors. We just got white, but they definitely have prevented finger pinches, which can be some pretty serious injuries.
Yeah, and this product again, it's a good product. It's fairly easy to install. So again, it has a lot of these products come with the 3M tape pads. It's just a matter of where you're putting it, really. I mean, so some of our doors, it wouldn't work, like to our outside of our garage, it wouldn't work because of the temperature change. So then it eventually fell off. So what we eventually ended up doing was just tacking a few small nails in each one. And then I just did it all around the entire house, which is easy because it's already in place. One thing that we didn't do that we had to change when our oldest son got taller basically is we had to when we originally got these because they're not cheap. Um, we cut them in half so that we only had to do half the door because we were thinking, all right, well by the time he's that tall, he's not going to stick his hands in the doors anymore. Well, here we are 3 years old and we had to change them because he's tall enough and he will still stick his hands in the doors. So the size that they give you is the size that you should use. It's 3/4 height of the door, but definitely recommend using it. The doors are a major concern, I would assume, for most parents, but we've definitely found that these products in particular have been very useful for us. Again, easy install, They are quite expensive though, just so you're aware, but I would say worth it. And they don't wear out really. We've had the same ones for as long as we put them up. But that wraps up our baby proofing episode. I'll be sure to post all of these items in a PDF in the description. So if you want to take a look at the things that we've used, I'll put it in there. If you'd like a link to any of these products, feel free to leave a comment, and I'll definitely send it to you. And thanks again for watching, and we hope that you like the content. Feel free to subscribe, comment, or reach out, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks.